Giridvaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jai Radha Shama Sundarada Shama Sundaradi Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stavtara Satashi Shrimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Nitai Gau Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, text number 40. Śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatim tāta gacchati śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatim tāta gacchati śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate naiveha kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatiṁ tāta gacchati. śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate naiveha kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatiṁ tāta gacchati. śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra tasya vidyate Matajis Bhagavan uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate naiveha kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatiṁ tāta gacchati. śrī-bhagavān uvāca pārtha naiveha nāmutra vināśas tasya vidyate naiveha kalyāṇa-kṛt kaścid durgatiṁ tāta gacchati. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Pṛthā, O son of Pṛthā, Pṛthā, naiveha, never is it so, iha, in this material world, na, never, amutra, in the next life, vināśaḥ, destruction, tasya, his, vidyate, exists, na, never, he, certainly, kalyāṇa-kṛt, one who is engaged in auspicious activities, kaścit, anyone, durgatim, to degradation, tāta, my friend, gacchati, goes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pṛthā, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pṛthā, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good my friend, is never overcome by evil. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In the śrī-bhagavān, Sri Narada Muni instructs Vyasadeva as follows. Tyaktva sadharmang charanang bhujang harer bhajan apak pota patetato yadi yatra kva bhavadrang buddhamushaking ko varta apto bhajatang sadharmitaha. If someone gives up all material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully engage his occupational duties and yet not gain anything. For material prospects, there are many activities, both scriptural and customary. A transcendentalist is supposed to give up all material activities for the sake of the spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness. One may argue that by Krishna consciousness, one may attain the highest perfection if it is completed. But if one does not attain such a perfectional stage, then he loses both materially and spiritually. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one has to suffer the reaction for not executing prescribed duties. Therefore, one who fails to discharge transcendental activities properly becomes subjected to these reactions. The Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful transcendentalist that there need be no worries. Even though he may be subjected to the reaction for not properly executing prescribed duties, he is still not a loser. So we should not be a loser, okay? Because auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten, and one so engaged will continue to be so, even if he is low-born in the next life. On the other hand, one who simply follows strictly the prescribed duties need not necessarily attain auspicious results if he is lacking in Krishna consciousness. The purport may be understood as follows. Humanity may be divided into two sections, namely the regulated and the unregulated. Those who are engaged simply in bestial sense gratifications without knowledge of their next life or spiritual salvation belong to non-regulated section. And those who follow the principles of prescribed duties in the scriptures are classified amongst the regulated section. The non-regulated section, both civilized and uncivilized, educated and non-educated, strong and weak, are full of animal propensities. Their activities are never auspicious because while enjoying the animal propensities of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, they perpetually remain in material existence, which is always miserable. On the other hand, those who are regulated by scriptural injunctions and who thus rise gradually to Krishna consciousness certainly progress in life. Those who are following the path of auspiciousness can be divided into three sections, namely, 1, the followers of scriptural rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperity. 2, those who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence. And 3, those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness. Those who are following the rules and regulations of the scriptures for material happiness may be further divided into 2 classes. Those who are fruitive workers and those who desire no fruit for sense gratification. Those who are after fruitive results for sense gratification may be elevated to a higher standard of life, even to the higher planets. But still, because they are not free from material existence, they are not following the truly auspicious path. The only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation. Any activity which is not aimed at ultimate self-satisfaction or liberation from the material bodily concept of life is not at all auspicious. Activity in Krishna consciousness is the only auspicious activity. And anyone who voluntarily accepts all bodily discomforts for the sake of making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness can be called a perfect transcendentalist under severe austerity. And because the Eightfold Yoga system is directed towards the ultimate realization of Krishna consciousness, such practice is also auspicious. And no one who is trying his best in this matter need fear degradation. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Didati Swapadantikam. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, he's got a little bit of a concern, because as Krishna is explaining the intricacies of the yoga system, controlling your mind, controlling your eating, your sleeping, your focus, your meditation, from wherever the mind wanders, bring it back under the control of the self. You know, the senses are hankering for gratification. The mind is the instrument to facilitate that. The intelligence is giving the technique how to properly achieve your ultimate goal. And the living entity is being taken for a ride in the passenger of the car, the chariot, the body. We're not the body, but due to our activities and desires of many, many lives, in particular our last life, we've been given a certain kind of body in a certain family with certain features and abilities. But of all the species of life, human form of life is rare because you have full intelligence and consciousness. Although consciousness is there in other living entities, that consciousness is covered over by the gross material body. And not only the gross body, but we have an ego. That ego is the mind, intelligence, and ego. So that ego is the conception that we have of what we are, who we are, I'm white, I'm European, I'm African, I'm Indian, I'm this religion, that religion. These are different bodily conceptions of life. So Arjuna is concerned. He's earlier in this chapter telling Krishna that the mind is so difficult to control that, like the raging wind, I can't control the raging wind. How am I going to control my mind? And Prabhupada points out that 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much more intelligence and ability to understand what Krishna was telling him, what is the yoga system, how to get free from the entanglement of repeated birth and death. What's the problem in our life? Our problem is we're going to get old, we get diseased, and we're forced to die. And due to the activities and desires at the time of death, yang vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram. We're molding our life, our whole life, by our activities, by what we're eating, what we're doing, and if we're breaking the law constantly, knowingly or unknowingly, there's reactions. For every action, there's a reaction. So the human form of life is specifically and only meant for awakening our love for God, of getting out of this trap, samsara. Isn't it? Sangsara dava nalalita loka. Because we're caught in the forest fire, we're entrapped in this body with the mind and senses. And generally, unless one is very fortunate, he's misguided. The blind leading the blind. Today's politicians, they don't have spiritual insight. And human beings have four frailties: imperfect senses, they make mistakes, they're illusion, and cheating propensity. So these are the gifts that we have in the human form of life. As a result, we can't make the proper understanding or decision. Whereas Krishna, he's above the modes of nature. From Krishna's manifested this external material world, but we're of the superior nature. We're that spirit spark. Just like Krishna's eternal, we're eternal. Krishna's full of knowledge, we have knowledge. And Krishna's full of bliss. Just like a drop of the water has all the qualities of the ocean, but it's just a drop. The ocean is great, it's big, it's massive. So Krishna, he's the supreme, and from him everything emanates. And it's not that Krishna is just, how you say, playing a game by making the material world and all the planets and unlimited universes and so many wild species of life and trees and plants and ants and bugs and demigods, all varieties. From the topmost planet down to the lowest planet, people are struggling, they're in misery. Isn't it? That abrahma bhuvanaloka punar avartano arjuna. From the highest planet, Brahmaloka, people want to go to heaven and enjoy long life. And according to our mental conception, what is happiness? Oh, there'll be so many beautiful women, and there'll be so much nice food and music and dancing. I don't have to go to work. I can just enjoy all day, every day for a long, long time. This is my happiness. But without proper guidance, that's just like a temporary distraction. So there are many types of yoga and the ladder of yoga system. So some people practice yoga for achieving some health. Some people are practicing yoga for the purpose of becoming powerful in their mind and senses and able to conquer Mother Nature by, oh, I can make thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. There are people who are very good at manipulating the material world and thinking this will bring me happiness. But there's no happiness because it's all taken away. Everything is taken away from us at the time of death. And when is death coming? Anytime. Anytime. Death can come. We've seen in Vrindavan, sometimes we had a couple of young devotees going to Radha Kund. The rickshaw got smashed and she passed away. Not even 20 years old. So whether we're children, young or old, considered getting old, that whatever we do for Krishna, we have to have determination and faith. Without faith, that we can doubt forever that, well, maybe there's no God, or if I can use my own intelligence to understand God. They give the analogy that if you want to know who your father is, you ask your mother. Otherwise, are you my father? How do you know? You don't know. You may say someone else will tell you, but the analogy example is that the mother will tell you. So Mother Veda is Krishna. Krishna, he manifests himself in the form of this Vedic knowledge that, okay, you wanted to leave the spiritual world, you wanted to see what it means to be the enjoyer, that now it's all about me. People, what does Lord Chaitanya say? Nadanang, najanang, nasundaring. I don't want followers, but people like followers. They like to be praised and appreciated and their picture all over Facebook, and oh, I'm great, you know. So we all attracted to followers, and what to speak of beautiful women. Who doesn't want beautiful women? I mean, you know, the terminology of that everyone wants to enjoy. And how do we enjoy? We have senses. We have to gratify our senses. Eat something nice, see something nice, want to hear something nice, want to touch something nice. All these senses are hankering for satisfaction. But the senses are covered by the gross elements. And we're an illusion to think that simply by gratifying or satisfying the urges of the mind and senses, that this will bring us happiness. But due to long bahunang jamanamante gyanavan mang prapajite, after many, many births, one may approach the Supreme Truth because he's miserable, he needs money, he needs wealth, he prays to God, or he becomes inquisitive. I want to know, what is the purpose of my life? Who am I? Why am I here in this world? What is my purpose? And then someone who's actually looking for the absolute truth. These are different categories of people who approach spiritual life. So we come from one of those categories. Either we were miserable, looking for money, or inquisitive, or really looking for the truth. Because there has to be a God. Who can make such a fabulous body? Who can make the whole world go around, and the sunshine, the moonshine, the vegetative growth, the nice breeze now, cool in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, cool at night. Krishna has it together. He's very expert in everything. And then there's suffering. The adhyatmic, adhidaivic, adhibodhic. Adhyatmic bothers, the mind is troubling me. Oh, I like so-and-so, but they don't like me, and why did he speak so harshly to me? Nobody likes me, or, you know, the mind is causing so many disturbances. Oh, you know, I'm miserable. Adhidaivic, we're hearing how Lord Indra is throwing so much clouds of devastation during earthquakes, tornadoes, or hurricanes, tsunamis. People die by the hundreds and thousands due to the destructive nature of Mother Nature's very fierce power. Adhyatmic, adhidaivic, adhibodhic, from other living entities. My leader decided that I want to have a war, so now all of you have to join me in my ideas of having a war. And if you die, it's for the mother country. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And if we destroy hundreds of thousands of people, that's okay. We'll prove our might. What is the purpose of the war? We have no idea, but we're still going to fight. So this is, the people are fighting one another due to religion, due to race, color of skin. I know that I saw in Africa, one tribe, if you were with the one tribe, they were being massacred, but if you were with the other tribe, you were okay. You know, this is totally on the bodily and external consciousness, and we think, well, why does God allow bad things to happen to these people? They're innocent people. But we don't have the divine vision to see that what have we done in our past life? What to speak of this life? Sometimes we're walking on the street and you see, oh, ants everywhere. I must have stepped on so many ants, my God, you know? And so many activities we perform every single day which may not be authorized. This is why Ambarish Maharaj was a great king. His mind was always absorbed in thinking of Krishna. He wanted to see the beautiful form of Krishna. He wanted to hear the pastimes of Krishna more and more. What are his beauty, his activity, his loving relationship with his devotees. His feet were taking him to the temple. He was touching the devotees and taking the prasadam. So we have the 9 processes: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. But without determination and faith, then we allow, if we stop hearing about Krishna, if we stop reading and chanting and serving, that I want to do some service. I want to serve the deities, and I want to serve by cleaning. People are happy. I've told this story many times. One devotee in Miami, especially during festival time, he was in charge of washing the pots. And we had a lot of big pots because many people were coming. But he was so determined, he just wanted to be there washing those pots. So we need to have that proper service mentality when we approach the Guru. Tadviri pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanas tattvadarshana. Tattvadarshi means one who has seen the truth. Lord Chaitanya empowered Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was feeling disappointed, but Lord Chaitanya says, I have so much work to do through you. I'm empowering you to reestablish what is Vaishnava, what is the behavior of Vaishnava, what is devotional service, you know, all the different aspects that we have to understand about how to become aware of the Vedic teaching. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami gave beautiful literatures describing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord with his devotees in different stages, in awe and veneration, in friendship, in parental, in loving affairs. Everyone is looking for love. Everyone is looking to be loved. You know, oh, when I see you, I get excited, or, you know, this is, so when the gopis were see Krishna, they were completely out of their mind, and when Krishna would disappear, that would even intensify more. And their whole existence was centered around Krishna. This is the Brijabasi life. But to see the real Vrindavan and understand real devotion in Vrindavan, we have to give up material sense gratification. And it's difficult because for so many lifetimes, not only in this body, we've been servants or slaves of the mind, slaves of the senses, and we think, like Arjuna, well, what's going to happen to me? Now I'm taking up the spiritual life, I'm working hard to distribute books, and I'm working hard in the kitchen, I'm trying to be obedient to the temple authorities, and, you know, working cooperatively. I have my duties, so I'm doing all these things. But what if I don't achieve the success? Then I wasted my time because I could have made some money at least. I could have had a nice home, a nice family, and why I left material life for spiritual life. So there's a few verses, I'm sure we had the classes last few days, but Krishna ultimately tells son of Pṛthā that for one who's done good, no evil can overcome him. But we don't know what is good, what is right and wrong. So that's why we have to hear Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. Who's the greatest authority? Krishna. Vedanta, he's giving the Vedic literature. He enlightened Lord Brahma to Narada, to Vyas, Madhvacharya, Madhavendra Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, our Srila Prabhupada in our day has written these literatures. We heard during the disappearance celebration how Krishna told Prabhupada, you go to this material world? No, I don't want to go. No, you must go and you write these books. Because a real Vaishnava, a real devotee, he's not simply a yogi living in the woods or a cave for his own enlightenment, but one who's concerned out of compassion, like Prahlad Maharaj, even though very young, he was feeling that compassion and that love that Krishna's in everyone's heart and everyone is struggling in this world. And if you find some cure to the disease, you want to share with your brothers, sisters, everybody. Of course, every religionist thinks that they found the cure. But the cure is love for Krishna. So how to achieve that? How do I get free from my misidentification with this body? How do I awaken my love for Krishna? So the last several chapters, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, control the mind, perform yoga, be very moderate, and any material desires, kick them out, only be engaged in spiritual desires. But Arjuna's not going for it. He said, I can't do it, it's too difficult, too hard. Krishna says, yes, by constant practice and detachment. So in this age of Kali Kalir Dharma, Krishna Nam Sankirtan. So the Dharma, the religion for this age, is the Lord's holy name. And even though akama, sarva kamava, moksha kama, udaradi, bhakti yoga, by bhakti yoga, whether one is akami, without desires, sarva kama, has so many desires, nishkama, I want just liberation. We approach Krishna just like Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted a kingdom. He wanted a kingdom greater than his father's kingdom. Meaning, he wanted to control, be in charge of everything. And Krishna was ready to give him, because he was guided by Narada Muni. With faith and determination, he followed the order of his spiritual master, and he had his own determination. And that determination is required. That vyavisa yatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana. I was speaking to someone today and they said, I just started the śrī-bhagavān from the beginning again. And so there's a feeling of, yes, okay, from the very beginning, I'm going to, janmad yasya yaton vayad and then Dharma approaches the kaitavotra, then the sages, and now the whole plot is growing. And if you really focus your mind and intelligence on śrī-bhagavān, Krishna is present in the form of Bhagavatam. By hearing the sound vibration, the conversations between the great sages, the instructions of Krishna, all the prayers of all the great saintly personalities, demigods, everything leading up from the first canto up to the 10th canto. And then after you've been through the whole journey and had a chance to associate with Vaishnavas and see all the different stories and examples. These are not just stories, but everything is laden with the absolute truth. And it builds like building blocks. It builds your strength, it builds your confidence, your conviction that this is real, this is obtainable, this is something we can achieve, even though we seem so distant right now because of so many desires, because of such uncontrolled senses, and maybe we have so many disqualifications. We're not great devotees. But Krishna, he can accomplish anything. He sees our heart, he sees our intention. What do you want? I want you, Krishna. Okay. Then you'll get a spark of enthusiasm. The enthusiasm to hear Bhagavatam, to hear Bhagavad Gita. And just keep going systematically. Find a time, find a schedule, follow that schedule. Rise early in the morning for that Mangal Artik. It's important. Why? Because Prabhupada ordered us. Go to Mangal Artik. So if you have the Guru's order, okay, I have to do it. That means, you're restless at night, the mind is wandering, maybe see some news or this or that. Okay, soon and then by the time morning comes, you're too tired and you're feeling disturbed. So regulation is very important. And then take advantage of whatever opportunity you have for service. What is that verse? Neha bikramo na shrosti pratyavayo na vidyate swapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobayat. Even a little advancement in this process of Krishna consciousness, there's no loss, no diminution. You're making progress, because even if you leave your body, you're going to leave your body, but after leaving your body, you get promotion, either to the heavenly planets, where you can actually have some experience, but we're not going to take those chances, because after a long duration up there, you're going to have to come back again, either in the family of transcendentalists or pious, mercantile, wealthy family that has the tradition and culture of religion. They have many temples. All the family members, are actually worshiping and engaged in devotion, hearing Bhagavatam, and it's just a cultural, traditional heritage that they've adopted. Like Prabhupada said, like my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he took birth in a pure Vaishnava family. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is his father. And also myself, he said, Srila Prabhupada, his family is also pure Vaishnava family. So give you an example that even a little bit of an advancement in this process, so much greatness will come. No evil will come. So wherever we're at, we keep hearing the holy name. We keep hearing these beautiful pastimes. And even though we're reading for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years Bhagavad Gita, it's ever fresh and new. How is it after 5,000 years, still it's the greatest book with the deepest philosophy, with all the answers to life? But those who are atheistic, those who are narrow-minded, those who are thinking, who their intelligence is stolen by illusion, although one may have academic qualifications, PhD, Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, I have a PhD in philosophy, but they don't know the essence of Krishna consciousness, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvasya chahang hridi sanavishto matat smrita jnana pohanang cha. He's in everyone's heart. He's giving guidance to everyone. You want to enjoy this world? Become a pig and dog. Have fun. No problem. Go. That's okay. You want to become a god? Enjoy the beauties of heaven? You can go there. Oh, you want to come to me? Manmanabhav madbhakto madhyaji mang namaskaru mami vaisasi satyate pratijane prisiyosime. Think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your prayers to me. Thus you'll come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you're my very dear friend. So imagine the Supreme Lord is telling you that you think of me, and because you're my friend, you're going to come back to me. So Krishna makes the arrangements. The doctor's not going to make the arrangement for you to save you on the operation table, or your crying sons and daughters, or husband or wife, or family members, or your bank balance, or your Jaguar or Mercedes-Benz, or your diamonds and gold and jewelry. None of it's going to save us. Only Krishna can save us. Rakeke, Krishna Mareke, Mare Krishna Rakeke. If Krishna wants to protect you, no one can harm you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can protect you. So always think of Krishna, remember Krishna always, and never forget Krishna. But how do we do that? By chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a beautiful prayer. My Lord, I've fallen into this world of birth and death, suffering. People are lonely. Ultimately, we're all alone in this world. And although we may have some temporary associates thinking, oh, this is my nation, my friend, I feel comforted, it's all taken away. It's just like a flicker. You know, at nighttime the light is on, so many flies are there. In the morning time they're all lying dead on the ground, you know. Our life is very, very small. It's significant, but it's insignificant. So many billions and trillions of universes countless living entities. You know, what are we? We're part of Krishna. We are great, but if we're in illusion, if we're misusing our this vehicle, if we don't take this vehicle back to home, back to Godhead, and end up in Patala Loka or the hellish planets, we took a wrong turn somewhere, you know? Like the vehicle needs direction. We need guidance, and the Guru's giving us guidance. The Vedic literature is giving us guidance. So we just keep hearing, chanting, have faith, and associate with devotees. Don't listen to the mind. Don't listen to the foolish critics who want to find fault with everything to justify their ungodly existence. People want to say, there is no God. I can do what I want. I can kill the cow, I can kill the animals, I can steal from people, I can hurt people. This is all illusion. And unless we take the guarantee from Krishna, sarva dharman parityaja mamekang sharanang vraja ahang tvang sarvapapebhyo mokshayashyami masuchaha. Krishna, after Bhagavad Gita, towards the end, is saying, abandon all varieties of religion, meaning give up all your mental speculations, all your concoctions, ideas, following the blind people. Just surrender to me. I will protect you from all danger. So Krishna, he's person, he's a loving person, and he will reveal himself according to our desires and according to our activities. God helps those who help themselves. That means that Arjuna didn't just say, okay, I'm just going to sit in a chariot and smoke ganja, and you, Krishna, you take care of this battle. No. Arjuna fought. He said, oh, now my memory has been restored. You've awakened, you've taken like Jeev Jago. The Lord's calling, wake up, you're my eternal servant. You don't belong in this world, you belong in the spiritual world, come home. And he's giving the directions, he's giving the guidance. He sent Srila Prabhupada, he sent Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, the Goswamis. They're all assisting a sadhu shastra guru. It's there to assist all of us. And where are we? In the most fortunate place in the universe, in Vrindavan Dham. And whenever we hear about Krishna in Vrindavan Dham, it's multiplied, it's magnified. When we chant the holy name, it's magnified. So that vibration will carry us back home. Whether we know how it's working or not, it's very, very powerful and very purifying. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's good that we all can come together and hear about Krishna and have positive thoughts of moving closer and closer to Krishna without any doubts or regrets that maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, maybe I should follow Buddhism, or, you know, no. In Krishna consciousness, everyone, as far as I can see, when you hear Bhagavad Gita, you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when you hear Srila Prabhupada, and when you come together and chant the holy name, there's a certain awakening of love, and Krishna, Radharani recognizes and points to Krishna, oh, this person's interested, you know. Oh, Krishna says, oh, they're interested? Okay. So without the mercy of Krishna, no matter how many books we read, without the mercy of Prabhupada, so how do we get his mercy? Follow his instructions. And the best way to do that is always chant Krishna's name and hear his name. So we have a couple minutes. If anyone has any comments, questions, before the artik starts.
Thank you so much for a wonderful talk. A point of understanding is because of the suffering. Krishna is our father, and we are his children. I have a son, we have children. But we don't send them into a situation where they have to contend with the three laws of nature, the mind, the adhyatmic or the aionic. We don't put them in a situation where they will suffer. But we know that they will need to run some lesson. But you as a father, you don't put them in that dangerous situation.
So Krishna is the father of everyone, and many of us have our own children. So we wouldn't want to put them in a situation they have to deal with, so many difficulties. But you see, Krishna's not doing that. We're doing that. Because of our desire to enjoy in a certain way, we're putting ourselves, that Mother Nature's providing the facilities. You want to, you're eating just like a mode of ignorance, like a pig, so he gives you a proper snout and gives you the proper, and you're relishing the stool, it's like, wow, this is good stuff, So it's like Krishna wants that we give up trying to enjoy this material world, that separate enjoying spirit, because Krishna is the enjoyer. We're Jivera Swarupoy Krishna Das. We're eternal servants, like our own children. We can give them guidance and help, but you see that they always pave their own way. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. I'm always telling them, did you listen to the recording today? No, I was a bit, okay. So, it's like, we try to give them a good upbringing and give them Krishna consciousness as much as possible. Some children, they're nice. They're maybe more attracted to the devotional practices, and some are into business and making money, but still they have that underlying good fortune of being in a family that is Krishna conscious, and a lot of that comes back at the time of difficulties. So it's not that Krishna is putting it, it's like our choices to be in this material world. And you think, well, I didn't choose to become a tiger or a pig or a dog. But Indra offended Brihaspati, and he was forced to take a pig's body, and Brahma said, okay, enough, come back to the kingdom of heaven. You have so many responsibilities. What kingdom of heaven? No way, I'm staying here. These are my sons, my daughters, we're all happy and living in the filth, the pig. So we're always adapt ourselves to our surrounding, and this family attachment is the biggest bondage that's keeping. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was speaking philosophically and the humanitarian spirit and altruistic, thinking about society, and we can't do this, and this is irreligious, and so many things. But Krishna wanted to smash the bodily conception of life. So this whole second chapter is dedicated that you are the soul. Dehinosmin yata dehe komarang yovanang jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastarta numuyati. That the body is always changing, but the soul remains the same. So ant body, pig body, human body, demigod body, so many families, so many circumstances, suffering, enjoying, it's all perceivable. See, the soul can't be cut, the soul can't be burnt, it can't be moistened, it can't wither away. So whatever suffering and pain we experience in the body is simply our identification with the body. Anyway, it's a complicated subject matter, but Krishna loves all his children. Lord Chaitanya was showing so much love to all his devotees. Krishna was having so much fun with all his friends and associates and relatives, especially in Brajdam. And he's guiding us, he's calling everyone, come back home. He's showing pastimes, he's showing his beauty, playing his flute, and showing the love that can be there on all levels. But still, if we choose to have the lifestyle of sense gratification, then we're bound for repeated birth and death. It's a good question, but on the spiritual platform, Krishna wants us back home to the spiritual world. The sufferings in this world, they're there, and they're going to be there because we're misusing our independence and we're breaking the laws of God. So when you break the law, you may say, Your Honor, have some mercy, you're my uncle or whatever. Yeah, but you broke the law, so you have to, there's certain punishments. And those punishments will come by Mother Nature. But you're never hurt, you're never bothered. It's just that your identification with the body that's really painful. In the bodies of our family members, that's painful. Thinking that, why Krishna's allowing my relative to suffer in such a way, it's not fair. So we need to come above and take shelter of the Guru. And as you're reading this, even Hiranyakashipu was preaching to the wife of Hiranyaksha and all the ladies who were lamenting, and he was giving very good philosophical explanations, isn't it, in the early part of the Bhagavatam. That's the best I can do for now. Anyone have any other question, comment? Okay, Artik time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay.